Kerajaan menetapkan lanjutan selama 6 bulan bagi meneliti semula 3 perjanjian berkaitan projek Sistem Transit Rapid atau RTS di antara Johor dan Singapura. Menteri Pengangkutan Anthony Loke Siew Fook berkata, 3 perjanjian iaitu Perjanjian Dua Hala Baharu, Perjanjian Usaha Sama dan Perjanjian Konsesi membabitkan persetujuan kedua-dua negara perlu dimuktamadkan sebelum 30 April tahun depan.
Betul, memang kita ada permintaan 6 bulan untuk sebelum kita dapat menandatangani semua perjanjian. Seperti yang kita telah umumkan, kerajaan telah memutuskan untuk meneruskan projek RTS dengan pindaan skop dan juga struktur kepada projek itu. Dan apabila projek itu perlu buat pindaan, perlu ada study. Kita akan melantik konsultan secara bersama untuk membuat joint engineering study. Joint engineering study itu akan mengambil sedikit masa dan selepas itu segala pindaan terhadap perjanjian-perjanjian yang perlu kita tandatangani.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Nurhaliza binti Kasih Ahmad and I represent the background of the project. So the first thing is that the Johor Bahru Singapore RTS link was aimed to improve the connectivity between two countries, which is Malaysia and also Singapore. It was also expected to reduce the congestion faced by the commuter who regularly travel across the border. It was agreed to use the mass rapid transit system, same as the one in Singapore, and it was informed that the Woodland North Station will be the location where the RTS station will be at Singapore, and while in Malaysia it will be at Bukit Jaga. Other than that, the Singapore-Johor Bahru transit system was proposed during the Singapore-Malaysia Leaders Retreat on 24 May 2010, and the plan was continued as a contract award of 42 million given to a consortium of AECOM Singapore, SA Architect and AECOM Perunding in May 2012. There are a few potential places or sites in Malaysia, such as Tanjung Puteri, JB Central. However, in September 2014, the Bukit Jaga was chosen as the place where the location will be at Malaysia, and it was confirmed by the Malaysian Minister of Transport regarding the Bukit Jaga plan on September 2015. After that, it was mentioned that during the Malaysian-Singapore Joint Ministerial Committee for Iskandar Malaysia on 31 July 2017 that the passenger service on the RTS link will be begin by December 2024. Then, a memorandum of understanding was signed by both companies of SMRT and Prasarana on 25 September 2017 to form a joint venture company for the RTS link. The Singapore and Malaysia government signed the landmark bilateral agreement on January 16, 2018. The agreement was signed by the Malaysia's Minister in the Prime Minister Department Abdul Rahman Dahlan and the Singapore Transport Minister and Coordinating Minister for Infrastructure Khaw Boon Wan, witnessed by both country Prime Minister. And then the Singapore Rapid Transit System link and Malaysia's Prime Minister's Department was jointly issued a letter of offer to the SMRT Corporation Ltd and Prasarana Malaysia Berhad, and it was accepted by both parties on February 2018. The offer letter was containing an offer for both companies, which are the Prasarana and the SMRT, to form a joint venture company to operate the Johor Bahru Singapore Rapid Transit System link by 30 June 2018.
So let's go to the problem that caused the delay of the RTS link project. The first problem was the need to study the impact of the project on the country. The Malaysian government has requested this, especially when the project indirectly gives an impact on the country's debt. This is because during that time, Malaysia already hit with 1.087 trillion ringgit of debt and liabilities at the end of 2017. Besides, it was a reassess project announced by the previous administration that was under the Barisan Nasional. Therefore, the new government that is Pakatan Harapan needs to review back all the project planned during the Barisan Nasional period to ensure there is no corruption of misuse of money occurred. So, the second problem is that the unreasonable price of the ticket. The practical transport burden that RTS link that was trying to provide has recently been called into question as Malaysian Minister of Transport, Anthony Locke, estimated that it would cost 50 ringgit for one-way trip, which is prompted their most recent decision to postpone construction to find ways to minimize the RTS link price. However, subsidy is not a choice here because they would bring more pressure on the government finances without offering significant benefit to the citizens of Malaysia. Thus, they need to calculate it back so the price of the ticket is reasonable enough for those who will use the transport every day. So, the third problem is that the implementation of this analysis was badly handled and resulted in costly losses, especially to Malaysia. The cause of delay was not only challenging to the tolerance of Singapore with the Malaysia, but also 2 million ringgit for the penalty fees. Firstly, is because the lack of the accountability around the project is troublesome. For example, only the minister's word need to go on where the Anthony Locke will soon be presented to the cabinet. This working paper is aimed to provide the cabinet with the comprehensive details so that they can approve it. However, the finding of the paper was not decisive enough or impactful enough to prevent the government from having to suspend the project for 6 months. The ambiguity of the key parameters requires a fair government clarification. Furthermore, the sudden announcement that the project should be privatized shows that the government is increasingly reluctant to pay, which do not inspire trust in its feasibility. So the fourth problem is that it was surprising that the government only figured out that the land hadn't belonged to them after the project has been possession for many months is the problem. Sultan Ibrahim was never informed that one of his plots of land is a part of the RTS link project. It was reported that a 4.5 hectare plot of land at Bukit Jagar, initially dedicated to the RTS train link, was registered under the name of the Sultan ruler. Therefore, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Mahathir, take this initiative to check back in great detail before they proceed. This is to ensure that there will be no issue or problem that might occur in the future. However, this procedure could take months, which is unreasonable with the time given. This will be a problem for them to review all the key conditions effectively and efficiently. Furthermore, the future project planning and the potential for more joint projects with Singapore could be problematic. This is because Singapore already had been experiencing so many problems when conducting a project together with Malaysia. It will give a bad image to the country of Malaysia. So the last problem and causes that delayed this RTS link project is the changes made to the original plan of using the mass rapid transit known as MRT system to a light rail transit LRT system. One of the recent changes were made is to reduce the construction costs. This is because the maintenance costs could be done in Malaysia as well, which is similar to the ones that have been operated in Kuala Lumpur. It will save a lot of costs since all the maintenance already available in the country, which they have more expertise, and also because it is more cheaper than building an MRT. For example, the cost of the project can be reduced by 36% from 4.93 billion ringgit to 3.16 billion ringgit. Besides, it also shown that the LRT system are sufficient and suitable enough for the rail project which had been decided before, namely Bukit Jaga on Johor side and Woodland in Singapore. Furthermore, passenger fare also had been taken into consideration that leads to the reduced infrastructure costs. This is to ensure that the people can still afford to use the public transport, especially those who need to travel every day. So, those are 5 problems that caused the RTS link project delayed. So let's move on to the solution.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nushaifah binti Ishaq and I'm going to present about the solution of the RTS link project. So basically this project has been undergoing a few phases of delay in which it was started on 8 April 2019 after the PH government took over the administration of the country in 2018's general election. So basically on 8 April 2019, the joint press conference had been held by both countries to announce that they were committed to make the supplemental agreements towards this project and temporarily suspend this project up to 6 months until 30 September 2019. In another circumstances, however, Malaysia government asked Singapore to give another 1 month to 31st October 2019 to discuss with the Parliament either the Parliament agree to proceed with the project or not. Due to that, the Malaysia government was responsible to pay the abortive cost up to $600,000 to Singapore. So finally, after a few discussions has been made in the country, Malaysia government on 11 November 2019, Malaysia government announced that they're going to proceed with the project. However, a few changes will be made in the framework of the agreement. According to our former Minister Transport, that is Mr. Cook, he said that the extension of delay will be taken until 30 April 2020 to discuss on the detail of the specification and the scope of this project. And he also said that the extension of delay is considered as in the implementation phase as both countries has been agreed to proceed with the project. So another solution is regarding on cost. The main reason why this project has been going through a few phases of delay is because of the cost that acquired by this project is too high for Malaysia government to support. So finally, as I mentioned just now, on 11 November 2019, Malaysia government had announced a few changes in this project, including the cost, in which Malaysia government finally able to found the problem how they can cut costs for this project up to 36% from 4.93 billions to 3.16 billions. According to our former Prime Minister, one of the main reason why Malaysia government able to find the solution on regarding on cost is because the willingness of the Sultan Johor to give part of his land, 4.5 hectare of Bukit Jaga, that will be acquired in this project to the government without any payment. As long as this project will be proceed by the government in order to solve the problems regarding on the traffic congestion in the cross border between Malaysia and Singapore. So for another solution will be explained by Haziq.
My name is Muhammad Aziz bin Azali. I will continue with the solution. So, one of the solution suggested by the Malaysian government is propose the idea of LRT, or in other words, like railway transit system. So, the LRT is 4 km cross border between the Singapore and Johor Bahru. It can bring down the total cost of capital expenditure and their operation. This is because they can carry out the 10,000 passenger in every direction within the peak hours period. Not only that, the LRT that suggests or proposed by the Malaysian government is similar to the ones which is operated in Malaysia. So the maintenance can be done by the Malaysia. So this is the solution that are proposed by the Malaysian government.
As the government are committed to continue with the RTS link project, some recommendation can be made to ensure that this project can be carried on. Firstly, the government need to review the maintenance cost. They have to review what system used for the railway project. Previously, we know that both parties agreed to use mass rapid transit, which is MRT system. But according to our former transport ministry, Anthony Luke said that after reviewing the project, he found that LRT, which is the Light Rapid Transit, are enough for the railway project. As we know, these MRT systems are advanced technology with it is fully automated driverless metro system. It is very expensive to build and also to operate. Compared to the LRT system, it still has its own driver and it less advanced, but it still can give comfortable to other people. So according to the University of Singapore transport analyst, Lee Dong-He said that although LRT can carry fewer number than MRT, but the train could arrive at shorter interval to boost up their system capacity. In addition, the passenger comfortability is one of the main factors to use or to choose the best system for the railway project. As the research done on the passenger rail service comfortability in Kuala Lumpur urban transit system, they found that LRT produce less vibration level compared to other system. Okay, this vibration parameter is very important. Due to that, it can give discomfort to the passenger. So it's shown that LRT can give high comfortability to passengers, can carry less maintenance cost, but still can give higher capacity to the project. Okay, if the government needs ideas or recommendation to solve the problem of traffic congestion, we are suggested to build an additional bridge. Although before this, our former Tuan Dr. Mahathir have suggested this, but have been rejected by Singapore, we still can do some investigation or research on the effectiveness of building the bridge rather than the railway project. So, according to University Kebangsaan Malaysia Graduate School of Business Principal Fellow, Professor Dato Dr. John Anthony Zazier, a third bridge connecting the Johor and also Singapore can ease the massive traffic flow at the causeway and also the second link at Tuas. In addition, he also said that this third bridge can also promote tourism for both countries, Malaysia and Singapore. Alright, according to Tan Sri Roman Naravatam, an economist, he said that the infrastructure development involved and auxiliary infrastructure supporting the bridge would be also good for the economic growth for both Malaysia and Singapore. Since many people use vehicle to cross this bridge, which is to go to Singapore or to go back to Malaysia, it's shown that the bridge is an effective way because it can support a higher number of people, including those who are driving and also riding. But if we choose railway project, we can only cover or support people who not driving and riding. Alright, so according to the Malaysia sources, we estimated that 300,000 vehicles, including the trucks and lorries, across the Johor, Singapore. And in Singapore, they reported over 130,000 of vehicles across the JB Singapore Causeway, and can up to 200,000 vehicles use the second link at Tuas. So this high number of people who use vehicle, which is lorry, truck, motorcycle and also car to cross to use this bridge, the need for third bridge is important and it can solve the problem of traffic congestions between Malaysia and also Singapore.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farhan bin Mukhali and I will continue presenting about the recommendation on how to settle the RTS link project delay. Alright, so just now Azrin has been said also about the recommendation, and I will add up 3 recommendations from myself regarding on how the government should
tackle this issue. Alright, the first one is, as we all know that the main objective of the RTS Link project is to reduce the congestion between the Johor Causeway and also the Singapore. Alright, so as while the project is delayed, the government should take a certain initiative to reduce the congestions. So we can provide a lot of another initiative that cost effective. So my recommendation is to build a pedestrian walkway at the Malaysian Causeway, which is because the Rizalman, the reporter from News Exam, habis korang tak a survey that state that from 300,000 of the people that cross between the border, 100 to 150,000 that tend to cross the link by their foot, which is by walking. So it say that pedestrian walkway could be effective, right? But the feasibility studies should be conducted in order for us to know how much effective this walkway and how frequency the people will use it. Alright, the second recommendation that I mentioned is to set up a parliamentary select committee which is specialized on this project. The parliamentary select committee is a committee that selected among the parliamentary members. It's not only from the government side but also the opposition side, and they may also invite the senator from the House of Senate, and also they may invite certain experts such as financial experts, transport experts, legal experts into the committee. So as we all know that this RTS Link project started from 2010, which is from the Barisan Nasional government until the Pakatan Harapan. So if they may include the committee that may have the previous transport minister, the previous prime minister, the previous administration, so they may have a diverse ideas on how to tackle this issue. And as we all know that this RTS Link project is very high, is very expensive. It consumes a lot of high amounts of national expenditure. That's how the government should be really criticized on how to tackle this issue. The third recommendation that I may suggest is to have proper meeting between federal government and also the Sultan Johor. Why? Because one of the reason why the RTS Link project is delayed, one of the problem is because of the land issue, the Bukit Chaga issue, where the Sultan Johor claimed that it's his own, and the government, which is, to be exact, is Tun Dr. Mahathir, said that the previous Prime Minister said that the procedure that they claim about the land is arguable, is ambiguous and controversial. So that's why if it's true that the land is owned by the Sultan Johor, the government willing to pay for it. And that's why I suggest that they have also a sense between the tension between the Sultan Johor and also the Tun Dr. Mahathir. That's why my suggestion is for them to have a proper meeting, to have a seat together and discuss about the issue, because it is national issue, because it's national. It may benefit all the Malaysians, all the Johorians, and also the Singaporean, and also the tourists in Malaysia. That's why they must have a meeting. They sit together and will discuss. And because of the meeting, they can have a transparent and true negotiation about the issue.
We come to the end, which is the conclusion. The conclusion is both RTS, MRT or LRT can give many benefits towards the two nations, which is Singapore and Malaysia. This is because this efficient transportation system can save up the traffic congestion up to 15%. So not only that, they also save up times and easy the border travel between these two nations. So it will enhance the economic growth and also can create or generate the bilateral relationship between these two nations. Thank you.